Hey guys, Scott Noonan from Audio Advice here. We're in a really cool home theater today we want to talk to you about. We're about to actually do video calibration in the theater. This is a really unique situation. We have a very, very large room in here that's a multi-purpose room. So there's glass on one side of the theater looking out over a golf course. We've got a billiard table. We have a whole wet bar in the back. Poker tables, a really, really large room. So we had to solve a lot of challenges in this room. And I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of what we were trying to do in the room, some of the things we did to solve problems that we faced. And I think you'll see that we came out with just an incredible, incredible theater here. So first, let me start. What you're looking at here is approximately a 10-foot diagonal screen. This is a 1.3 gain screen, which works well in this room in terms of dimensions. You'll see more as I walk you through it. We had an interesting challenge here, which was we wanted to have not only great movies for this group, but also we wanted them to be able to watch Super Bowl. We wanted a good listening area. So what you'll actually see here is we have B&W CT 8.2s, which is a really killer large tower speaker hidden behind this MicroPerf screen. We tried to put the tweeter, we actually managed to put it a little bit above height level when you're sitting in a chair. The reason is a lot of people will be playing pool in this area, walking around, and so we wanted it right just above so it also sounded really good when people are walking around. Now we're in the dungeon. We're actually standing behind the screen in a tiny little room that is built out behind the screen that have the speakers in it. And I wanted to show you here because this is really behind the scenes. So first of all, one of the things you'll notice is everything is painted black in here. So anything that's forward from the front, and you really can't see it from here, but everything behind me, it's coming from the screen, is black, including the front of the speakers. Because when the light's coming from the projector, you don't want reflections coming out from behind it. So it's a totally black room in terms of no reflections. The other thing is you can see these are huge speakers. These B&W 8.2s are unbelievable. These would be just ultra high performance audiophile 2-channel speakers, but there are 3 of them. You'll see the other interesting thing here, if you can see closely enough, we've actually bi-wired the speakers. And the concept of the bi-wiring is that you have the upper mid-ranges in your tweeter, they're wired directly, and then your bass that's wired to your woofers below it. When you're really trying to do this high performance, this is the way of doing it. And you can see it's fully bi-wired here, all the way back to the rack that we'll show you in a second. Now what I want to do is show you the equipment in here, and obviously it's in a cabinet hidden, but it's also accessible straight into the theater itself. But let me just walk you through what's in here. These are subwoofer amps. Each one is 1,000 watts for the 3 subs that are in the front. These are all Bowers & Wilkins SA1000 amps, each powering a 15-inch subwoofer from B&W. This is a Lexicon DD8, which is a really, really cool amp. This is actually powering the Atmos speakers in the top. It's actually a Class D amp, but it's sort of perfect for what we're doing here in terms of the Atmos speakers. This is a Kaleidoscape Strato. This is the hard drive that's actually playing all of the movies that are downloaded from Kaleidoscape. This thing, for people that can afford it in a home theater, is just incredible. If you're doing a really high performance theater and you love movies, there's honestly no better source in the world than the Kaleidoscape. It is fully uncompressed audio and video in full HDR, UHD. So I just want to show you a couple things. We actually have a full review on it at audioadvice.com. If you jump over there, you can watch the review or read the review. But just really quickly, what you can see on the screen is this customer's got full HD quality of lots of movies. They can browse around and just sort of look at different movies. And let's just say they stop on a particular movie, in this case, Bourne Supremacy. What you'll see is it will reorder all of their movies, and they'll know, okay, they're looking for movies that are like this or with this type of actor in it, or maybe it's action. The other way you can actually search as well, you can go through and say, I actually want to search alphabetically, which you can see here, or you can search by genre. You can actually say, actually, what I want is everything that's got Matt Damon in it. Click and it'll pull up all his films. Maybe you've got a date night and you literally just have a certain amount of time. You can click on the time, it'll reorder by the amount of time you have. It's really quite incredible what you can do. You can actually even create your own collections. So you can see here any movie that you've paused. Maybe you're watching one week, you pause it and you want to come back and watch later. You can see different scenes, scripts that you can create. So if you have a party, you can have demo scripts and music scripts. Every song, so they've got lots of concerts. And anyways, I won't spend too much time on it now. If you're interested in the Kaleidoscape, jump over to audiodevice.com. You can see more about it. You'll see below it 2 more Kaleidoscape pieces. This is the new piece that people buy. This one is a legacy piece that actually allows you to take Blu-rays that you have or DVDs and actually put them in here and also watch them on the Kaleidoscape system. And then obviously a Blu-ray player as well. So the last piece I want to show you is this is the Lexicon MC10, which is the processor running everything. This thing is really an incredible piece. Lexicon is known for really, really great audiophile sound. It's got all the capabilities in terms of Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, etc. But I think one of the things that really stands out on this Lexicon is they have what they call Logic 7, which is for people that want to listen to music in a theater room. It really changes and creates this immersive experience where it puts it throughout the speakers, but you still have that 2-channel feel. The other thing you're going to see is we're going to have to show you, you'll see the light that's coming in on the screen right now. We have the shades all the way open. We put automated shades in here. We actually have a dual roller shade, which is really cool, where one shade will come down and you'll be able to still see outside, but it's blocking 90% of the light coming in, but it preserves the view of the golf course. We have another shade that's a full blackout. So when the family's in here and wants to watch a movie and really just immerse themselves in the movie, the blackout comes down and blacks out the room completely. When the customer goes to watch movies, the real trick is how this room transforms. So I'm just going to show you, I'm going to do it piece by piece rather than all at once. But the first thing they do is they're going to bring down the blackouts. They're going to change the movie position of both the projector and the screen from a 16:9 to a 2.4. And then they're going to change their lights and they're going to bring them down to movie lights. And you will see this completely transforms the whole feeling of this room into movie time. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the chairs that are in this theater. This chair is called the Evolution chair, and honestly, I've sat in dozens and dozens and dozens of home theater chairs trying to figure out what are the best chairs at each price level. And in this case, the family's got a bunch of kids running around. They wanted something that was durable, last for a while, but they wanted something they could sit in that was ergonomically designed super well so they could lay in it for long hours and not be a problem. This has been one of my favorite chairs, and frankly, its price point is by far the #1 selling chair we've had at Audio Advice. This is called the Evolution chair. The Evolution chair's got a dual motor system, so you can see the footrest comes out like this, it lays back, but the key is the design of this head where you can drop the head or bring the head up, and it will allow you, no matter how tall you are, and they just nailed this in terms of where it puts your head when you lay back, no matter how tall you are, short people, tall people, it works great. It also has a USB input here. And then finally, you'll see there's an option in it where you can get trays as well if you want to eat on it. We actually have built a new version of this chair. Audio Advice is getting it exclusively designed. We've made a handful of upgrades to it. So one, the LEDs are not as bright on this, so we're going to be getting these in 2020. And they'll have memory function, so you can hit a button and it'll go to exactly the place you've already memorized. And trays will come with every single one of these, and they'll actually come shipped in the arm, so you can keep them in the arm or take them out and put them in. And there's a perfect little adapter so that you get to keep both of your cup holders plus a tray. Anyways, we have a full review, full video on it at Audio Advice. That chair is going to be called the Revolution chair if you're interested. One of the challenges a customer posed to Audio Advice was, we've got a really loud room, we've got glass all on the sides, a big open room, basically the acoustics are terrible. And so we designed for the customer a setup in terms of not just the equipment, but also what are we going to do for the acoustics. And so you'll see we've got acoustic panels all around the diagonal at the top of the room, plus we have a mixture of absorptive and reflective panels at the top of the room. And then we also did some really interesting artwork that adds to the aesthetics of the room, but the artwork actually is done on acoustic panels. Okay, so let me bring you over here and show you one of the things we did on the side. Obviously, this room has a great aesthetic feel. And the goal of the room was to not show any speakers. We really just, you want to be able to walk in this room and just go, wow, this is amazing. And you'll notice there's a lot of terrific woodwork in it. One of the things obviously we spend a lot of time focused on is, how do we not just deliver great sound, but the entire thing needs to look good. So we built a faux column here, and we have acoustically transparent cloth on the front of it. And then we have clips, and you'll notice we took the time to make sure there are a lot of clips here, and the clips are incredibly tight. I'd actually already loosened it before I showed you here, but once this thing is clipped in, it doesn't move no matter how much bass is in the room. The other thing we've done is we've sealed foam on the sides. This is a B&W CT 8.4, which matches up with the CT 8.2s that are in the front over there. But you can see this is a full range speaker. It's got a woofer, mid-range, and a tweeter in it, and it's literally just behind the main seating position, going right across. So one of the really fascinating challenges of this particular room is they did not want a projector hanging in the room. It's sort of this huge open room in here. And so the question was, what do? We looked at a handful of solutions. One was we could actually put a projector behind the screen into a glass screen and project through it, which we've done before, bouncing off of a mirror. Maybe we'll do another video on that. But instead, what we decided to do was we want to do front projection, and we actually did something really neat. We actually hid the projector in this custom-made billiard light. So this light was one we actually made with our woodworking team. By custom building it, the projector actually sits on top of the billiard lamp and projects through a hole we cut in the front of the billiard lamp and projects right in. So the only way you even know the projector is there is if you get in front of it and someone tells you and you look back at it. I want to talk a little bit about the projector itself. This is a Sony 995 ES projector. I want to give a little bit of background as to why it was used in this job. So first of all, it's a laser projector, meaning the colors in the picture are just flat out incredible. It's about 2,200 lumens. Now, one misconception in the space is that you need to have the maximum amount of lumens that you can get. And the reality is you can buy a cheap projector and get lots of lumens, but what you're giving up is great picture, great colors. So you're trying to find that balance between the right amount of lumens for your room and also getting a beautiful picture, great color rendering, etc. And the 995 frankly has both, but because this particular room has got glass all on the side of it, it needed higher lumens, and the customer really wanted the best picture they could get with full HDR, full 4K, and full 18 gigabits per second feed coming into it from the sources. If you want more information on the 995 projector, we actually have a full review on it at audioadvice.com, and actually we've got a pretty big lineup of all the major projectors and televisions. You can go take a look there as well. The last thing we do in every room is to come in and calibrate it. And honestly, it's probably the thing for those of you who are professionals that are getting into this business that most professionals don't do well. Honestly, if you do a good calibration, it will change everything in terms of a room. So in this room, because we have the Lexicon MC10, we were able to do a Dirac live calibration, which is the audio calibration. And this particular room had a mode at about 40 hertz, meaning with some deeper bass was pushing out. And you'd think that'd go, oh, I get lots of bass. But what in fact happens is because that mode's at 40 hertz, you actually have to turn down the bass to not overpower in that one level. When we calibrated it, we brought down that 40 hertz level, which allowed us to pick up all the rest of the bass around the 40 hertz. And we just really got some incredible slam in this room between the acoustic panels and the audio calibration. We really nailed it. The other thing that happens is when you calibrate, you're trying to figure out, am I calibrating for one spot or multiple? We actually calibrated with 2 chairs in mind, really for a husband-wife combination in terms of those being the very best seats in there. As well, it's important to do a video calibration. You know, as you can see in this room, we've got a lot of glass and a lot of light coming in. And so taking a projector or television right out of the box is not going to match up what you need. And the trick in calibration there is you're trying to find the right balance of getting it bright enough to get the pop, but you don't want your whites so bright that they get too hot, open up the iris in your eyes. Anyways, we've got a whole set of information on calibration at audioadvice.com. If you go over, come into any of the stores, you can learn about Dirac calibration, the other calibrations that you can do. And actually in our home theater how-to guide, there's a whole section on video calibration as well. So if you're looking at building a home theater, whether it's coming to a pro like us to do it, or you want to do it yourself, jump over to audioadvice.com. We've got lots of how-to videos, lots of reviews. We have guys that will chat with you, people that love this stuff. They're happy to jump on the phone with you or come into the stores in Raleigh and Charlotte. We'd be glad to help you out.